Hello YouTube, here is another update, a June update from Tuna Lake Garden. Hey, the weather is looking much better, the forecast is looking better, the temperatures are going up, still some rain to be expected, but what can I say? It's looking better. I have quite a lot of things to cover this update, so I tried to keep a little bit speed in my story today. I just came home from the garden center and I was talking to the man who worked there about my seeding efforts, and that not much was germinating. And he said, yeah, don't worry too much about it, because this is a bad year. You're not the only one. The soil temperatures are just staying too low for summer flower seeds to germinate in my location. Because of all the clouds, there was 8% less sunshine compared to the historical average. So we had unusual low temperatures the past 2 weeks, lots of clouds, lots of rain, not a good combination for the seeds. With that being said, a couple of seeds did germinate. For example, this one. It is only one, but I'm happy with it, considering the bad conditions that we had. And here are some flower seeds that germinated. This one, and here in the back, and here also a few, and a few here, and a few here. And this is one of the flower bulbs that I planted, and some of them are starting to develop flower buds. But you can see it is leaning, and that means that it wants to grow towards the light. Normally, when we have average sunshine, there will be enough light for the plants in this location, but now with all the clouds there was just not enough light, so they try to grow towards the light. So that is an indication that we had a lot of clouds. And the same thing over here. These plants are leaning, they want to grow towards the light, but there are some flowers developing, and I am very happy with that. And here is another one. There are some flowers coming. This is monk's grass that I seeded. I also have monk's grass in my grow beds. And one of my advices for people who are starting a garden, but who might be not as successful as they wish, if you have something that is already growing in your garden, just plant it again. And when you do that, you learn more, you get more experience, you have something to celebrate, because it is always nicer to have a little success as a disappointment. And in the meanwhile, everything that grows helps to cultivate your garden and make it better, and the next year you will have more success with planting other plants, because the soil will get better and your knowledge and experience will get better. Over here we have some seeds that are starting to grow. Because of the wet weather we also had a lot of snails and cold weather, so it is not growing really fast, so it has a hard time to outgrow the snails. So it is not just one issue, it is a snowball effect of issues with the cold weather. The same with these. They really had a hard time with the cold and the lack of sunshine. So they stay low to the ground and they become easy food for the snails. But now, yeah, I still hope that with the warmer temperatures that they will have a growth spurt, and that I might even see some flowers this year. The pots are doing reasonably well. It's not too bad. At least some flowers. The fish are happy swimming around. Over here I did seed some flower seeds, two varieties, and because I could put this at the most sunny spot in the garden, it worked perfectly fine. It worked perfectly fine. Over here, the little mini greenhouse, not all of them were a success. 3 containers still have nothing, but I keep it there for now, and maybe that those will still germinate as well, but not too bad either. So as long as I keep it at the most sunny spot in my garden, the seeds were willing to germinate. Well, we also had a pretty severe thunderstorm, so this one lost the flowers and this one lost flowers. They are over there, but I suppose that those will grow back. These are new buds, so I think that it will have new flowers very soon. Then I want to point out this one, this little flower. This little flower, I will put the Latin name in the description, but the common name is maiden pink, or that is one of the names. It has many names, and I really want to recommend this little plant with this little flower. It is suitable for hardiness zones 4 to 9 USDA, and in the cultivated version they when you have them in a nice little cluster, they grow upwards, maybe half a foot high or something like that. But what is so special about this little flower is the fragrance. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. You really want to have this little flower. Maiden pink. It comes in different cultivars, and I was not really aware of it, but this little plant, I seeded, and it is the same species but a different cultivar, and it also has the pink flower. And when you plant them in the full ground or on rocks like this, they tend to spread out a little bit more, and they do not form the cluster of flowers. So it is more spread out, and they stay a little bit lower to the ground. But it is a perfect little flower to plant at the edge of the borders, or if you have some stairs, to plant it there, or at the edge of patios. And the fragrance is absolutely phenomenal. It is amazing. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Then I had an issue with my rose. The rose, I think it is doing a little bit better now. I have plenty of buds over there as well, but all the leaves were getting black dots. This is still one of the leaves that I kept on the plant, but I had cut off all the other leaves with the spots on it, and luckily now I get new growth everywhere. But what was the issue? Well, I will tell you. I was testing the pH with my pH meter, and I stuck the probe in the soil. And normally when you put the probe in the soil, the deeper you go, the more resistance you get. But here it was the opposite. I stuck the probe in the soil and it became easier. So what was the problem? Well, I had used potting soil, and I did mix it a little bit with the soil that was already there, but it was not enough. And what happened is that the potting soil started to decompose, and it started to create hollow spaces, and that is why my probe went into the soil so easy. And when I stuck my foot in there to see if I could push it down, I almost tumbled over, so deep went my foot into the soil. So that's not good for any plant. And now I have tried to compress the soil a little bit. That is not what you normally want to do, but in this case it was needed. With a stick from a broom or something like that. And I tried to compact the soil as much as I could, not too much, but to make sure that there are no hollow spaces anymore. And now I have the impression that the plant is a little bit more happy. So we will see what it is going to do. But that is a wise, or not wise, but a lesson learned, that you can use potting soil, but you should not use 100% or a very high ratio of potting soil, and that you also have to mix it up with regular soil that is not compost. Otherwise you get the hollow spaces. So that is a lesson learned. So I have talked to you about the rose, I have talked to you about the seeds and why it does work here and not in the full ground. Then I want to talk to you, and this is more important for people with a fish pond or an aquaponic system that has no natural supply of minerals. So I'm talking about a fish pond with a fish pond liner or plastic containers. The problem that we had with the rain is that it dilutes the amount of minerals that are in the water. And when those values become too low, and in specific we are talking about water hardness values. If those values become too low, the pH goes all over the place, and the microorganisms, the nitrificating microorganisms, will no longer be able to do what they should do, and then you get pH problems, and you will get the filamentous algae and floating algae. What I should have done all winter long is what I always tell people to do, is that I should have monitored the water hardness all year long, maybe once a month or so, and to keep those mineral levels and the water hardness levels at level at each month, so that I do not have to do large corrections, for example, right now. I could have prevented that if I had monitored the water more frequently. But I was arrogant, and I thought that everything would be okay, and that I had a magic eye, and that I could detect the water level values with my eye. But nobody can do that. You have to measure it, and only then you can apply the correct cure. And if you do it correctly, your plants will keep growing. Considering the fact that my water hardness is far too low at the moment, and my pH is a little bit too high, the grow beds are not doing that bad at all. It could be far worse, and I could have had much more algae growth, but I am slowly but surely trying to get those values up to the desired level, and it is looking a little bit better. And here is my test kit. I already had it, but I almost never used it. So here is the test kit. It has all the most important tests. I can test pH, KH, GH, ammonia, nitrite and nitrates and phosphates. So those are the most important tests. I never measured phosphates before. I did now once, but before that I never did that. I never did this one, I never did this one, I never did this one. I was only interested in these three because, to my opinion, those are the most important values. I think it is very rare if these ones are not at the right level, because I do not have cows or animals or whatever, so the chance that I get ammonia contamination or nitrite or nitrates is very low in my situation. But I did measure it, and it was all 0, and that is what you want to have. So that was good. My only problem really is the amount of rain that we get, and the rainwater is soft water without minerals, and that dilutes the mineral levels from the pond. The more rain I get, then some water will overflow and leak into the soil, into the ground, but that dilutes the total amount of minerals that I have present in the water. And when you have rain every single day, it is very difficult to keep those levels at the desired level, without stunning the plants. That's the whole trick. You don't want to put too much of that stuff at once in your pond, because you can easily stun all the plants, and then you have to wait for 2 months before they start growing again, and that's not desirable. So that's that. Another subject of the list. Then I was at the garden center, and I was talking to the man who was helping me about my seeding issues, at least my seeding issues in the full ground, and that almost nothing wanted to germinate. And he said, yeah, it is just too cold to it, not enough sunshine, what I said at the beginning of this video. But I could not help myself, so I bought 4 more packs of seeds. This is butterfly mix, this is summer flower mix, blue mix, and this is a wildflower, a low growing mix. They grow maximum height of about 1 foot high. These grow a little bit higher. And these two are the same because I have a small garden, so I like small flowers, low growing flowers. I try to keep everything a little bit in proportion. That is nicer in a small garden. At least that is what I believe. And I live here, so I get to decide. It is a... I forgot the name, but it is my decision. So I heard about no mow May. I will repeat it: no mow May, and it is an initiative from gardeners around the world. And the idea is that you don't mow the grass in the entire month of May. Preferable you do not mow it during the entire summer. Well, I do not have a big lawn, but I decided to join the initiative because the idea is to help the insects and the birds. And I must say that the grass is growing really nice. I have never seen such tall grass in my own garden, because normally you mow it. But it made me think, I only mow where I walk, and where I walk I do not have to mow a lot. So I only mow this part, and over here, and then here, and sometimes I walk there, so that is why it is a little bit flat. But yeah, I cannot prevent that because I have to pick the weeds and such, so I have to walk there. But I was thinking, well, yeah, now that I let the grass grow, why not put flowers there, right? It makes sense to put flowers there. So my last my last effort from this year to put some flower seeds there, and we are expecting a little bit higher temperatures and maybe even a little bit less rain. So it might work. You never know, you never know. And I cannot help myself, so I'm going to try one more time. And then another subject is this box tree. It was, well, it looked completely dead. It looked like this. This little section on the front side is still not looking too good, but it is coming back. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I also pruned it, and this tree is known that if you prune it, that it will grow back even more dense. So I hope that that is going to happen. Normally with this type of tree you should not be able to see the stems at all. It should be so densely grown that you cannot see the inner structure from the tree. That should not be possible. But yeah, the caterpillars really did a good job this year in ruining this tree. But now it is coming back, so I give it one more chance. I noticed other people in the street who also had this type of tree, but in a small form as a hedge. And it was also completely attacked by the caterpillars, the same as my tree. There was not a single leaf on the tree anymore, and they decided to remove it completely. So there is a big chance that I am the only person in the surrounding area with this tree. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not enough for the moth species that creates those caterpillars to survive. But now I am kind of curious what is going to happen, so I think that I will keep the tree for another season, just out, just out of curiosity. I mean, it is my nature, I cannot help it. I am a curious person, so I try things, and sometimes I do things just because I want to know what happens. There's not really a logical explanation. It's just yeah, the nature of the beast. That I am. I'm such a beast. Well, then I had a hanging basket. I bumped my head against it, and that broke the hook. So I have to make up something for that. But this one was on the ground during the thunderstorm, and it still has its flowers. And this one has flowers, and it has still one flower over there. And this one, from this one I broke the top before it started flowering, and I have put it in the grow bed, and in the grow bed it is also flowering. So that is nice, and I have one flower here, but in particular this grow bed is not doing that great. This strawberry plant is struggling each year, so I also sown some garden grass, because to me garden grass is a known plant. I know what it does because I have planted it everywhere. This is also garden grass, so I am familiar with it, and it germinates quickly, so you get a quick result. And by watching what it does, over there and here, and then comparing it with each other, I can tell that something in this grow bed is wrong, because this garden grass should grow exactly the same as this garden grass, but it doesn't. So something in this grow bed is wrong, and I have an indication what it might be. I think that I overdid this grow bed with the minerals when I first bought the minerals, and when I was still not I didn't know what I was doing. That's the whole point. It's my fault, and I didn't know what I was doing. So this is the result of me not knowing what I was doing. And it will take some time before that is all back to the desired levels. But in the meanwhile, it's not too bad. Things are still growing, despite the fact that the pH is a little bit too high and that my water hardness is far too low. Well, that was a big update. I hoped that I could keep it interesting and speedy enough to make it bearable. I am going to seed my seeds so that they can benefit from the warmer weather. Now we know what it is causing that not many flowers or seeds are there yet. There's just nothing that you can do about it. The weather comes as it comes, but it is a very, very, very unusual weather pattern. The first 4 months we had above average temperatures, still with a lot of rain and clouds, so the soil didn't warm up. But the past 2 weeks the temperatures plummeted to very unusual, very low temperatures, and yeah, that doesn't help either. So hopefully things will look a little bit better by the end of the week, and next week there should be a lot of more sunshine and warmer temperatures. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a great day and that you have the weather that you need. And I will see you the next time. Bye bye.